Hello, hello, hello. Here it is. What's up, guys? It's the Deep Surface Podcast. Listen, man, we bike.
Yeah.
We bike.
Yeah.
We bike. How you doing, Keegan?
I'm wonderful, bro.
Ivan, how you doing today, my guy?
All right, man. I'm good.
Listen, man, we was talking earlier. Listen, man. Faith is my biggest struggle, but also my biggest blessing. Man.
That's heavy.
I wonder if people passed away and they knew exactly where they were going, whatever you believe, it doesn't matter. But if they knew exactly where they were going, would they need faith? No. They wouldn't need faith. If you know where you're going already. So now when people go, we don't know what's on the other side of the fence. You know, that leaves you in disarray. But you got to have what?
Faith.
The thing that burdens you is the very thing that carries you sometimes.
Well, what I said earlier was the difference between faith and believing is one you actually have evidence. The other one you actually have to believe in, right?
That's
and you think about what Scripture says. What Scripture says, you know, Christ told disciples, you believe because you see. Blessed are those who believe and do not see.
That's good.
Right? Because you are walking in the unknown and you're choosing to believe in something that you can't touch. That's why you're blessed. If you know, now you got to be held accountable.
But it's a burden.
It is.
Because everything you see around you is your reality. Everything you looking at, you like, okay, well, this is actually happening to me. You're feeling these things. But faith has to prevail some type of way.
Yeah.
Ivan, how does that happen? Because faith is faith is a universal thing.
Right. I mean, and it's not that faith is all spiritual, but just removing it from the spiritual. Like when you go to the store, you got to have faith that they're going to have what it is that you need there. And that thing that you consume is going to do your body well. You don't really know. You have no clue about what that's going to do to you. You don't know where it came from, but you go in believing. And I don't even think people realize that they actually use faith on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
Even people that consider themselves to be non-believers. You have to use faith. Ambiguity is always there. Sometimes you don't even know it's present.
It doesn't. Oh, ambiguity. It is.
Can I give you one point about that, Ivan, that you're so correct on is you walk into the house and you cut the light on. You turn that light switch. You're just thinking automatically it's going to cut on.
Right.
Get into your car, you think it's going to automatically cut on. It's when it doesn't come on, you're like, oh, shit, I got a problem. Right? But you walk into it with faith that it's already done. It's going to cut on. It's as simple as that sometimes. I think that's what Christ, when he was saying faith of a mustard seed.
Man.
The size of the seed is what?
Small. Real small. Man, and I think, it's incumbent upon us as people who have faith, man, to display that because it's tough. It's tough. People get in tough situations. When you're staring down the barrel of an eviction notice, when you're staring down the barrel of a child being sick or something going wrong in your life, how do you reconcile your faith at that point? That's incredibly difficult. And I don't think we deal with the day-to-day. I don't think we understand the day-to-day decisions and feelings that people have when they're dealing with these type of tragedies. How does your faith work in those moments, Keegan? How does your faith become strong in those moments? Because, you don't have the corporate people around you. Sometimes you're in those dark moments. It's just you and God. And you're questioning whether God exists. Listen, I've done it.
Absolutely.
I flat out cussed God out.
Job.
I did. I cussed him out because life was beginning to get so heavy. Life has been heavy for me for a long while. I deal with personal struggles and it becomes heavy because I have a responsibility. I have a mantle. I have children to raise. And when I'm not operating on an optimum level, then what do? Because mediocrity is not in my plans. Mediocrity is not a choice for me. It may be for whatever anybody else do, Keegan, but it's either I'm going to win big or lose big. That's how I'm wired. I ain't wired no other way. You know what I mean? I came from a pressure cooker, and that's what you got. Older brothers, Keegan. I played ball. Athletics, and just being around excellent people as well. It raises your standard, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
But man, Keegan, through those moments, through those tough times, how do we actually start to display our faith? How do we start to execute our faith so it starts working for us versus our doubt working for us?
So I think the first thing you got to understand is faith does not mean you're going to get what you want.
Ooh, that's
right?
good. Tim, hit the clap button. That's good.
So when you think about, I said it earlier about cutting the light switch on, you are happy when the lights come on. When they don't, though, you get upset. Now we curse God because we have this thought that our expectations should be satisfied all the time. And when they're not, we think, oh, it's not supposed to be this way. That's why a baby cries. They want X. They don't get X. They start crying. We got to understand that God is with you whether it's going good or it's going bad.
That's good.
And that's why faith's so important, because no matter what's happening around you, your faith tells you that you're going to get to where you're going. That's one, you have a North Star. Two, God's going to be there with you, not alone. And three, he's already given you the talent, skill, and Holy Spirit to help you walk through it and endure whatever the pain is. We just don't like pain.
Man, pain is necessary.
It is.
It's a necessary thing. Because you wouldn't know what feeling good was like if pain didn't exist.
Absolutely not. I mean, can you grow without pain?
No.
You cannot grow. And, it's just one of those funny things. Like, when you really break down having faith of a mustard seed, could you imagine having to be a seed and break through that first layer, that first shell?
Come on, Ivan, that's good.
Then you have to find a way in darkness to be able to start to bury roots further down, but you still can't even see what's ahead of you yet. And so when you really break down the actual seed process in having faith, it shows you that there's going to be some dark periods. But if you go through the growing pains, you're going to be able to be that rose that grows in the concrete. And so, like, faith is, like you said, is such a tough thing, but it's absolutely necessary, because without faith,
It's impossible to please God.
it's impossible. It's
Impossible.
impossible.
It didn't say love. It said faith. That's wild. We actually need that. And we execute it on a day-by-day basis, as you said, unconsciously, but until something is taken away from us.
Yeah. Talk about that pain for a second, because I even hit me maybe a week or so ago. He said to me, I'm sore. Went to the gym, right? So you exercise the muscles. Your muscles are getting stronger with pain.
Absolutely.
It requires pain because you're working out something you didn't have before, right? So you have to go through those tough times sometimes to get to where you want to go. We just don't like the tough times.
We don't. And, and sometimes, and we're going to talk about tonight, have adjustments. You know what I mean? Because in life, nothing goes as planned. If you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. Old saying, but it remains true, and it's undefeated.
Wow.
It is. You plan, you execute, you plan, you execute, and it doesn't happen. You plan, you execute, and it still doesn't happen. Now you're getting to the point where you feel you crazy. See, if you ever had a ridiculous, if you ever been audacious, if you ever had audacity, you know what it feels like to feel crazy.
Absolutely.
To feel absolutely out of your mind. Go ahead, Ivan.
And I was just going to say, because you came up with a plan. You came up with the plan. The problem is you came up with a plan, but did you actually sought out to have vision for the plan first? And vision for the plan is being able to see something that's not there.
That's good.
That's
good.
And so your plan is the plan, right? But in order for you to get to the vision, you got to be able to get through something to get to the vision. So you got to be able to see beyond your plan in order for you to get to the vision that you have. Meaning, sometimes your plan might be aligned with God. It just might not be the right plan.
Yeah.
you could literally, okay, so what did they say? Like when you're cutting a field, if you get off a quarter inch, by the time you're 100 yards out, you're about 25% away from your actual true destination. It doesn't take a lot. It just takes a little bit. And sometimes your plan just needs to be adjusted. That's why you got to be able to have vision, oneness with God, and finding out what that actual vision is, and then allowing the plan to actually take place. There's an ebb and flow to it. And when because you know what it's like. When you've written it out and you have it down and you're going, you're just executing it the way you're supposed to, but you're not seeing the result that you want. Just like what Keegan was saying.
Habakkuk 2:2, write the vision and make it plain, correct?
Right, make it plain.
And I've written down, and I have it in my closet, and it's been written down for some years. I'm watching it every day, and it's absolutely excruciating to watch that. Mm-hmm. Because see, when I'm slacking, I gotta watch that. Mm-hmm. When I'm killing it and it's not happening, I gotta watch that. And it keeps me accountable because every time I walk in, I gotta look at it. That's why I said write the vision and make it plain. Because see, vision is not complicated. It's hard. Mm-hmm. It ain't complicated. No. Write the vision, make it plain. Mm-hmm. That way you ain't got no excuses. No, this is not fractions. This is not calculus. This is not trigonometry. This is your ability to will yourself out of laziness. Mm. Because laziness to me is one of the deadliest spirits there is out there that prohibits your faith, Keegan.
It's a 7 deadly sin.
Sloth. It gives you an excuse.
Mm-hmm. No question.
And we all want to make them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the hard thing about faith. You can't just sit down on the ground and be like, well, you know what? They did this to me. They did this to me. Don't work that way.
Right.
Don't work that way. Because you want to achieve true success. And I'm not talking about making a lot of money.
Right.
I'm talking about peace. That surpasses all understanding. That means that you're sitting in peace. Everything's going wrong around you. This is what I really mean. Everything going on around, everything falling apart. I got peace though. I don't know what y'all talking about. Right. I'm planted like a tree. I'm planted. I ain't going nowhere. I'm sitting right here. That's what faith is about. It ain't about achieving or getting. It's about being sustained, Keegan, and finding joy and peace in your life.
Well, it's faith sustains you, but it also has a destination point.
Come on.
Right? So the first thing I say back to your point about adjustments is I used to tell my partners all the time when I was on the corporate side was you write your business plan and it's wrong on day 2.
Absolutely.
You want to know why? Because something happens.
Absolutely.
You got to adjust. You got to pivot.
That's good.
Right? And that's just the way things work in the real world. So one, you have to be able to be agile and athletic in how you move toward a plan. Right? Because it's not going to always be a straight path, A to Z. Right? We know the shortest distance between A to Z is a straight line. We know that. But that's not the way real world works.
It doesn't.
But I'll say this about faith. And I was my reading for this morning from a scriptural perspective was Christ told the disciples, I go to prepare a place for you. That means I'm going to come back to get you for that place. What if you don't get what you want in this lifetime?
That's good.
Faith helps you understand that your destination point is beyond what's outside the door right now.
Ooh.
Right? If you have faith in what that destination is. Now, if you want it all right now, then hey, you better hustle hard because you get nothing else after this particular point. But what Christ told me is he went and prepared a place for me. So when I get it right now, I know after this glory, I'm going somewhere. I got a mansion in the room prepared for me already. He's coming back to get me for that particular room. Faith will sustain you through all the shit you encounter in this particular world because I got a destination point.
And managing expectations.
Of course.
Not rushing. Man, you said something powerful.
Patience.
You don't have to rush.
Oh.
What? you have to get to know your greatness.
To that point, and I'll go back a couple of episodes to something that Jay said. My biggest competitor is myself.
It is.
And you said before, competition is the thief of joy.
It is.
So if I'm going to compare myself to Ivan, I'm not running Ivan's race.
Right.
Not
That's
my
good.
own.
That's good.
Not my own. Walk with the
good.
man in the mirror. That's all you got to do.
That's good.
You just you ignore all distractions and focus on your North Star. You can be patient with your own North Star. I even might make $2 million next year. I might only make $200,000. But I'm running my own race.
Yeah.
Am I okay with that, or do I want to get what Ivan got? Because now I'm running Ivan's race.
Because you dilute your originality.
No doubt.
Because you can't do that to yourself.
No doubt.
And the thing is like you have to become okay with bringing forth fruit in your season.
Exactly.
Say that again, Ivan.
With your garden.
That's good.
With your garden.
Season. Yep. See, everybody's season's not the same. An apple tree doesn't grow the same height as a banana tree, but it produces more fruit.
Let me say this, Ivan. Let's stop trying to rush out of seasons, even if they're bad.
Right.
That's true.
Because that's there for a reason.
That's a good point.
We just talked about it. Growing is absolutely tough.
Absolutely.
Growing is tough. So in seasons that you're not producing what you think, that's why you can't compare yourself. That's why you have to manage your greatness. You have to understand who you are and your areas of weakness. SWOT analysis on yourself.
Yeah.
You have to know who you are, what you are, and what you can handle and what you can't handle.
And whose you are.
Man.
And whose you are. Who you belong to.
That's why you don't rush your greatness.
Because the season of winter, that's a pruning season, right?
Absolutely.
It is.
Everybody wants to be in summer, but you might not be ready for summer.
That's a fact.
Sometimes because there's some things there that needs to be broken. If some of the things don't come off or don't get shaken away, you might end up in summer in the wrong position and you still don't get to the vision.
And you know what? You got to get to know more than one person in your
point.
life, because there's going to be multiple versions of yourself.
Yes.
Every season requires a different version
Absolutely.
of you. You will
Absolutely.
never, you're no longer going into seasons being the same person. You can't.
No.
Sometimes you make adjustment on not just people, things you do, habits. What worked for you on the last business may not work for you on this business. You have to change your approach. The power of adjustment.
Yeah.
You have to make adjustments. You know, I want to go a little lighter note. Man, we talking. I love this shit, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I do. I thank God that He gave me the ability to get on here and talk and present something to our people, to people across the world. We're a global brand. We love people, and I'm glad that I get to do it with, you know, all the men that I do it with, sharing the stage with you guys, sharing your Christ power, sharing your power. You know what I mean? These things help people get along, because our situation ain't perfect.
No,
That's the good thing I love about this, because I get to purge.
Yeah.
I get to help and purge. You can't, just because you're going through, you can't stop going through.
No.
Yeah.
Just because you're going through, you can't stop going through. You have to keep going through.
Yeah.
That means while things are going wrong, keep going.
Right.
While things are falling apart, keep going.
So you mean don't take on victimhood?
Getting weary and well doing.
You know do you understand the easiest pathway to victimhood is denying self-responsibility. You see, if you continue to look at yourself, and you continue to look at yourself, even if it's not, Keegan, your fault, your atmosphere that you hold, your matter that you hold is your responsibility.
Yeah.
This is the space. This is the dominion that God gave you that you can control at absolutely every point in your life. From the time you got consciousness, you can control what you do, how you think, who you're around, what you do, what you respond to, what you react to, how you treat people. You can control all of that. And that's your responsibility.
No doubt. No doubt.
Man, this is good. But speaking of responsibility, man, a little lighter note, but we talking good though right now. Tim, we talking good, man. I love this shit, man. But listen though, I want to talk about Kyrie Irving for a second. I do. I want to give Kyrie his flowers. I had to go here, man, because Kyrie Irving has become my second favorite player behind Zion, bro. Kyrie Irving. I'm serious, bro.
Threw LeBron James away, huh?
The words I would use for Kyrie Irving is magnificent. His talent is punishing. He is a master of the game, a Mozart, a Jimi Hendrix, a Future, a Kanye. He's in that realm, a Steve Jobs, a Jeff. Kanye is a master at if you look at basketball if you take out the Jordanification, if you take out the meaningless competition, if you just look at the art and the skill set of what basketball is, Kyrie Irving embodies that better than anybody I've ever seen. I am not calling Kyrie the greatest player that accomplished things. I'm talking about 3 levels: skill, the way he get his shot off, his ability to finish with both hands, his ability to shoot the mid-range. Kyrie Irving is only 6'2", 6'3". So we're not talking about ridiculous athleticism. We're talking about pure, untainted skill. When you talk about fundamentals, if you're a real hooper, I don't think y'all guys are hoopers. Tim, you're a hooper. When you watch Kyrie, you can't do anything but marvel. He's unbelievable. He's absolutely incredible. I even know he's not a Batman because all of the off-the-court stuff. But I will give Kyrie this, and this is why I brought Kyrie up, because Kyrie's ability to have faith in what he believes, however you see it, misguided or guided, Kyrie had faith in his process, and it looks like it might work out. But you know why Kyrie was able, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, was able to have the faith that he had to sit out? Because his brand of basketball, and he knows the people will wait to see him because he's created greatness. Think about it. His first couple of years, Kyrie's about to peak right now. The Kyrie that we see, the flailing Kyrie, that the one you seen going through with all his real emotions and not playing the corporate ladder, like he showed you, I don't want to be at Boston no more. That was unprecedented for athletes to do stuff like that. But Kyrie knew something that we didn't know. He believed in exactly what he was.
I agree with that.
Like him or hate.
I agree. He believed in what he was.
And he's still standing on
teammate.
that. Yeah, and listen, in the process of your faith journey, you're going to offend people, and it's going to be your fault. Am I lying, Keegan?
No, true.
It's going to be your fault.
Absolutely.
God ain't he knows you're not going to be perfect. There's things you're going to have to do through your journey that you're going to have to, as Jim Gordon said in The Dark Knight, plunge your hand in the filth.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a little more simpler than that with Kyrie. I think Kyrie showed us that he's a person first, a basketball player second. And I think
that's good.
We just
Keegan.
Forget about that. We just look at basketball players.
Man, that's
all
good.
And what he told us was, I have an actual body that I care about, and I don't want to do X because I don't understand why. It's as simple as that.
Keegan, God will bless your intentions sometimes, even when your actions look faulty.
Well, it's faulty to man.
Absolutely, because because you're seeing now what he's doing. We've always known he's had these attributes. He can score. He can do all these things. But it looks different now, don't it? It looks different. His game looks mature. It looks like every movement is calculated. It looks like somebody who's it looks like an artist who painted something that was absolutely flawless. They didn't leave one detail unmarked. And that's how Kyrie looks right now. And I think he's being honest too. You have to be honest with yourself first so you can walk the journey, whatever you have to walk. Because Kyrie knew the scrutiny he was going to get.
And to Kyrie's defense, let me be clear. I absolutely believe in what he stood on.
Absolutely.
Absolutely believe in what he stood on. Because at the end of the day, you're right. He is human first.
Yeah. Come on.
And
that's good.
We have dehumanized athletes, and we just expect them to just go on and just do whatever when somebody tells them to do so. And he wasn't interested in doing that. And so I'm 100% okay with him not wanting to do something that he didn't understand. You should not be forced to do something that you don't understand. Mm-hmm. What I don't agree with about Kyrie Irving is I don't think that he's ever intended to be a good teammate in most situations.
Intended? So you counting intentions now? That's what we're doing?
I mean, I'm just
Come on,
hey, intentions can be seen, correct?
Those are made for. I think intentions are made for you and God. Nobody knows your true intentions. Don't start at the act.
No, they don't.
They don't start at the act.
No. Do they?
What comes out of a person, even if their intentions are bad, it don't start at the act. They mold over it. Mm-hmm. Intentions are built.
Well, the act is the byproduct of the intention.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
So it don't start there, but it festers from something else.
Yeah, it comes out of
you know what I mean?
But the type of basketball that he's playing right now is absolutely phenomenal.
It is.
I'm not gonna take away.
You can't.
I'm not gonna take away from. I mean, I'm not a Kobe Bryant fan, but I think Kobe Bryant did some of the most amazing things that we've ever seen on the basketball court.
And Kobe, I love Kobe. Kobe is phenomenal, but Kobe does not have an offensive package like Kyrie Irving. He does not.
Well, I think let's compare.
But Kyrie learned from him.
Okay, so
let me say that too.
We're talking about apples and oranges. Let's make sure we quantify what that means. When you are like a KD, 7'9",
he is.
You can shoot over anybody, right? Kyrie can't shoot over people. He has to create space to get his shot off. That's where his wizardry comes from. Yeah. His ball handling skills,
unbelievable.
His space creating. So he gets to a place where he can actually take a shot, and then whether it's difficult or not, he makes the shot more often than not to get to the rim, finish with either hand, accept contact as well, and still put the ball in the bucket. Hit the 3-point shot. Like I told Ivan earlier, 50% from the field, 40% from the 3-point line, 90% from the free throw line last year. Like 50, 40, and 90, those stats mean something in how you play the game. And so he's doing it at 6'2" with heels on versus a Kobe who was 6'7", versus a KD who was 7 foot versus anybody else. That's why you love to see Kyrie and Steph do what they do, because at their height, they can't just shoot over people. They just can't overpower people. They got to actually create their shot with innovation. Mm-hmm. That's the beauty of the game.
Yeah.
Now.
And they maneuvered and they made adjustment.
Yes.
Because if you look at the league historically, you haven't seen guys 6'2", 6'3" dominate the league like Kyrie Irving, Steph did. You normally see guys like LeBron, Zion,
even
Jordan,
Chris Paul.
big guys.
Chris Paul at his peak.
Absolutely.
Chris Paul was a wizard.
Man, Chris Paul.
At his peak.
Man, Chris Paul is the ultimate leader.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about somebody. Listen, the one thing these athletes have is, and I heard Draymond say this, and I thought it was good. These guys have irrational confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Irrational. Like, there's no way you're not going to really do this. And he was talking to Joel Embiid, and I'm watching KD, Jordan, LeBron.
Dame Lillard.
These guys are irrational. And in that place of irrationality, man, that's where you're made. Like, you got to be willing. That's where the scars are built. Because, listen, guys, I can tell you right now, KD works. Absolutely. When KD come out and make it look easy, KD does every rep the same.
Absolutely. I have to watch his pregame. He definitely works.
At the same speed. Mm-hmm. That's how we operate in life. Mm-hmm. And that it's a process to get there. I love sports so much because it becomes a microcosm of life. Mm-hmm. And I get to watch athletic figures as sort of like something I can study and apply to my life.
Yeah.
Just the action, not necessarily the playing basketball. I think people didn't take that too far. Listen, you're not going to the NBA.
Right. you know that.
But I can apply those principles to my life.
Yeah.
And it's important to have those principles, man. I think if you're not there yet in your life, keep working.
Yeah.
It's about work ethic. I mean, obviously it comes from work. I mean, and let's just to touch on a little bit, Kyrie Irving offensive package is great. I personally, I don't know that I say that it's better than Kobe. I think he's a better ball handler, right? But I will say this: when it comes to those guys, we get an opportunity to see their greatness on the court. We don't get a chance to see when they're in the gym putting up
absolutely,
jumpers,
absolutely,
dribbling up and down the court, every single minute in order for them to be able to increase their speed to be able on a fast break. Like, we don't get a chance to see. We see it when they're in action and we call it great. But greatness is when they were doing the practice.
Yeah.
When they were putting in the work.
You wasn't with me shooting in the gym.
Right. And so being able to apply those principles, that level of determination, that level of grit, that level of hard work to anything, and just having a little bit of faith will get you to the place where you really want to be.
Man, that's good. Man, that was good, Ivan. And I think, man, watching guys like in these arenas, you know, one thing about Kyrie that I do love, watching him get his shot off at 6'3", and he's not the most athletic, but it fade away. The way he gets his shot off, his footwork. Footwork is a big, when you're playing sports, especially basketball, your footwork, it's a lot. That's why Luka and Jokic and a lot of those guys who's not super quick can get to their spots because they got supreme footwork. And when you watch Kyrie's footwork, it's masterful, man. I'm telling you. Yeah. It's Pavarotti. His footwork is unbelievable because you can't get your shot off. If somebody's 6'9", 6'8" guarding you, these guys are super hyper athletic. And Kyrie's getting his shot off on these guys like it's nothing.
Yeah.
And it's not like he's getting so much lift on his shot. It's just that his skill set, his footwork, he puts you in compromising positions at 0.1 second.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So I think this is why I love talking about sports, because we don't always have to measure guys by their leadership skills, their winning the championship. Because the realistic piece, everybody ain't built the same way.
Right.
But in the game of basketball, like life, there's different people that have different skill sets. No, is Kyrie the best leader? No. Did Kyrie make some missteps? No. Yeah, I mean, absolutely he did. He made some missteps. But it made him who he is now.
Right.
And making that a parallel to what we're talking about now, we make missteps all the time.
Absolutely.
In fact, while I'm talking and while you listen to me right now, you're probably making a misstep. And we all do that though.
Right.
But the thing is, man, is to not stop when you make that misstep. And I always tell people this, Ivan, understand why you make the misstep. So you don't make the misstep again.
Yeah. Learn from it.
And you might make a lot of them. Listen, you're going to keep making missteps, Keegan.
And isn't that the painful growth that Keegan was talking about earlier?
Yeah.
What?
Because there's a consequence that comes along with those missteps.
Man,
right?
it is a... Listen.
But I think what we got to understand with that concept is there's only one guy I know who is perfect in this particular world that we want to define as perfect, right? So we all make, even the best leaders that we want to call great made missteps.
I don't believe anything's perfect.
So we'll leave that one alone, Steve. But what I'll say is where we have to be better at is being patient, understanding, and gracious with people.
That's good.
Right? Because we quickly will throw someone in the firing squad for what they did.
That's good, Keegan. That's good.
But the skulls we have in our closet.
Come on, Keegan. That's good,
right?
Keegan.
Yes, sir.
So we have to be able to say, you know what? Everyone requires some patience, some understanding, some grace, some mercy from their fellow brother and sister, because none of us walk on water.
None of us do. And we're all flawed.
Yes.
Like, we're all really, really flawed. Some people just hide it well.
No question.
Let's be honest.
Absolutely.
Some of us hide it well.
Absolutely.
Some of us will work our whole life to get to a certain position to hide who we really are. Everybody does it. It's a natural. That was the whole thing in the garden. God said to Adam, "Who told you you were naked?"
Yeah.
I didn't say that. Why are you ashamed? We start off being ashamed for no reason. That prohibits our faith and who we are, because we're ashamed to be. I'll even say it for myself.
Wow,
I was like, you know what? I don't want to do this. I don't want to get out and do this. I can't. 11 years starting, stopping. I always had a built-in excuse. See, sometimes you can turn valid reasons to excuses if you keep using them long enough.
Of course. Of course.
Keep using them long enough.
Yeah.
They'll turn into excuses. See, you can always stop.
That's easy.
Keegan, you can always give up.
Yeah, that's easy.
You can always say, fuck this shit. Mm-hmm. Fuck this shit. You can always say it. And you wouldn't even be wrong. No, what I mean by that is that sometimes life can beat you down to where it doesn't feel worth it.
Yeah.
A dream deferred. But not denied.
That's
the difference. And I think that's the gap, Keegan. And I want to go to you for a second, Keegan, because sometimes it feels like my dreams are denied because nothing looks like what God shows me. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. How do people reconcile that?
So this is going to be a difficult thing to say because I got to minister to myself for a little bit as well.
Come on, wow.
But sometimes when your dream is denied, it's because it's not aligned with what God had ordained for your life to begin
with. That's good.
And you have to make sure that what you are trying to accomplish is aligned with what God has ordained for your life.
Ooh.
That requires a walk in the spirit with Him.
That's good.
That requires you saying, you know what, I want this thing.
Come on.
Because my eyes see it.
Come on.
That's not what God has for me. Are you willing to let it go? Because what's going to happen is when you pursue things He doesn't have for you, you will not get the covering for it. You won't get the favor for it. You'll be out here butt naked in the streets by yourself trying to get it.
Come on, that's
good. You're at the mercy of the world, and the world is not a kind place.
It's a
cold place, right? So I would say first things first. If you feel like your dream is denied, make sure that you have that combo with God to make sure that it's actually aligned with what He has ordained for your life. If you feel that that's the case, then you might have to be a little bit more patient. This might not be the season. You might have not shown God your stewardship of that provision yet. He wants to hold on for a second. Or maybe what He wants to give you will impact somebody else and they're not where they got to be impacted.
That's good.
That's where you have to be patient.
That's good.
In your faith walk.
And let me say this about the world too. When people of faith say the world, let me be clear. The world is not a person or people. The
Correct.
world is anything outside of your purpose. If you're comparing yourself, that's the world. If you want what somebody else got, that's the world. It's not you. Right. It is. And I think we use that sometimes. We got to make sure we're not talking about people.
Right.
Because anytime we even went outside of the church, or if anybody ever went to church, when we say the world, we equate that with actual people and what they're doing and this. No. God loved those people the same way He loved the people there. Yeah. God is the same God for everybody. Right. I just want to throw that in there when we say the world. I wasn't talking about you. I'm just saying it just came to my head.
But to me, the world is a holistic concept, right?
Yeah, it's a concept.
So there you go. So it could be people in the framework of what you might have an enemy. You might have somebody that's being used by the devil to move you off your center mark because you are walking in a place that the devil don't want you to walk in.
I believe the only enemy you have is yourself. I believe you're your enemy and you're the hero. I believe you're both characters and they're warring against each other. I think that outside influences, if you open the gateway, can play a part.
So I got a question for you.
Are you asking me a question?
I'm asking you a
question.
Come on now.
Can I answer it though?
Yes, you can.
It's not rhetorical though, right?
No. It's a real question. Okay. It's going to actually require an answer. Okay. There's going to be an actual response to that particular answer as well.
Okay.
So do you believe in God?
Do I believe in God?
Yes.
I believe that we are all gods.
Do you, not little g, I'm talking about big G. Do you believe in the Creator?
I believe in the Most High.
Okay. So if you believe in the Most High, you have to believe there's a devil out there.
I believe that. I believe that's in you. I don't believe that's outside of you. I don't believe nothing lives outside of us. I believe everything that we are lives inside of us. I think we project out these things. I don't think that we are those things. I think everything that we are, I think God resides within us, not outside of us.
That's a perspective.
So that's why I say
disagree,
that we are.
Perspective.
I think that's why we are the lineage. I don't think it's a crime to say that I am a God. I am a God. It doesn't mean I'm an authoritarian. It just means that I am a God. It's that I'm not the Most High. I come from the lineage. I was born. I was created by God. So therefore I am His child. So that makes me a God. Little G.
to make sure, you have to define that as you was made in the image and likeness, right? So I get that.
Only that. Not the I got the power to do this to you. I done made the earth. I was with creation. I am creation.
No, I'm with you.
I'm a part of everything. I'm just going through time right now.
That's
all that's happening to me right now.
I don't disagree with that, but I would say, though, if you do believe in the Most High Creator and a God, our God, then you have to believe that there's a devil out there as well, because that's God's counter, right, in the world. And so for me, when I say the world, this is where he exists, because what I believe in is the Bible tells me that he is the prince of the air. Absolutely. He's out here moving around. He has minions out here moving around to keep people who have a purpose off their center.
And I think it's the spirit that we created too. I think these spirits aren't. I think we create these. We conjure up these things through what we do as well, and it projects on, and it's in the atmosphere. But I do. I mean, I can roll with it.
You can create your own issues.
I think the enemy feeds off that, because you ultimately have free will to make decisions for yourself.
No question.
That's the great thing about here. That's our superpower, is our ability to make decisions for yourself. That's why even when you're watching women in the way they are succeeding now, because at one point Black women, their decisions were made for them.
Right.
So now you see them making decisions and the importance of free will. You listen, bro, you can't compress anything or anybody too long. When it comes out, it's gonna
explodes.
Absolutely. That vitriol gonna be different. It's explodes. So I think free will is our superpower in this. So, and in terms of, I know people say for shock value, I'm a God. I'm not. When I say that, I think we all represent that. I don't think it's blasphemy to say that. I'm not the God. I'm not the Most High. I didn't create the world. There is something that I submit to.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. As long as you define that, I'm okay with that.
And I think sometimes people say it, but it's true. We are that, and especially we are those chosen people. They say, but I ain't gonna go there though.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna go there.
It's heavy for people to actually say, because they separate themselves so much and being human that they forget that before you were human, what were you?
You was a spirit being.
You was a spirit being. You were everything.
Right.
You existed everywhere.
Exactly.
To be absent with the body is to be what?
Present with the Lord.
So that means if you were present with the Lord, you were a part of everything that was, is, and always will be. You just going through time. Yeah. Now, I can't calculate the reasons why we are going through time. I don't know why we're here, but we're finding out as we go. This is why it's so important to have faith and trust the Most High. Yeah. Trust the one that created. That's our duty. That's our charge. And I trust God with everything that I have, because sometimes that's all you're going to have.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Life will show you, life will put in your face that you will, listen, I ain't here to be your friend. I'm here to mold you. Life is strictly sent here to mold you until when you get back into wherever you're going, you need to be. That's why you're being pruned and prodded. That's why if things ain't going, listen, let's stop chasing material things.
Absolutely.
Chase habits. Chase patience. Forgiveness. Man, forgiveness. Oh my goodness. That's
if you really made that a habit.
Oh Lord.
If you made forgiveness a habit, what kind of person would you
Man, be? Listen. You carry heavy weight with unforgiveness. Yeah.
You do.
And it's becoming increasingly hard to forgive. We need to stop acting like forgiveness is easy. We need to put that shit to bed.
Oh, on the contrary, though.
Put it to bed.
Steve, that's why people don't do it. They think it's hard. It's not hard.
It's not.
If the thing is, we want to carry the bags, because you know what it does? It gives me a reason to say, Ivan, you was wrong.
Come on.
And I can hold that thing over your head.
Come on.
And it gives me a high ground to stand on when I know I got shit in my closet. But forgiveness is really easy if you really want to live in that particular space. That means you gotta be vulnerable for your own shit. So when you say it's hard, that's why folks don't want to do it. But the reality is, forgiveness is actually pretty easy, because all you're doing is saying, I'm not going to hold you hostage anymore.
I'll say the process or the act when you decide to do it, I think that part is not as difficult.
So differentiate two things.
But getting to where you want to actually forgive, I think that becomes incredibly difficult.
So differentiate two things. There's forgiveness and there's forgetting. They're two different things.
Do we have the ability to forget?
That's the issue.
I'm asking, do we have?
That's the issue.
When is our familiar, our I guess, love language with pain, or our familiarity with pain so great that we never forget anything?
No, you don't.
I mean, I'm talking about niggeros be holding on to shit.
Yeah,
they
do.
So can we forget? The brain is set up to actually remember everything.
Mm-hmm.
Literally everything from the time you were born. The opening of your eyes. It can, if you can dig deep enough, you can find that memory. But can you block it out? Absolutely. Absolutely. So I don't know that you have to necessarily completely forget something, but you can completely forgive somebody about a situation and put it in such a space to where you never have to revisit it again.
Man, that's tough. That's tough. But forgiveness to me, along with faith, is one of the keys to life.
I think so.
Because you do carry a heavy weight with unforgiveness,
Oh, yeah,
man.
absolutely.
I say you do, because you have to think about it. That's why I say you can't carry somebody else's journey.
You can't.
You cannot do it.
So you can barely carry your own.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? You don't have even the luxury to do you need God for your own, my God.
Right.
But it's hard, but we do that too.
I got a question for you, Steve.
Can I answer? Okay,
Yeah.
there we go.
So why don't we want to forget pain that we experience from somebody? It's a choice. You said free will, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you choose to hold on to the pain
Absolutely.
that someone may have caused you. Why don't you want to forget?
I think we have a relationship with pain,
We do.
especially black folks. When you've suffered for so long, you begin to develop a relationship with the thing that you don't even want to be there. Stockholm syndrome with pain, because we've had to use it so much to catapult ourselves to a certain place. Like, for example, the rags to riches story in America. Oh God, we love that. But a kid that comes from a 2-parent household, they don't tell that story. Wasn't in poverty, that story don't get told because people don't consume it, because we consume pain more than we consume celebration.
Okay.
We do. That's why people love drama. That's why it's hard to change, because you can look at how bad love and hip hop is and say, well, at least I'm better than that.
So
I'm not saying that's the reason why people watch that. I'm just saying
No.
drama sells in our industry. This is a goat fucking pod right here. I'm gonna be honest with you. Am I lying?
So Steve,
I think this is a goat pod.
to that point, it's not that forgiveness or forgetting is hard. You're just choosing it. You got to ask yourself, why?
Question. And I think some choose it as motivation, and others choose it
As a crutch.
because it's convenient.
As a crutch.
It's a crutch.
And let me say this to people who use it as motivation, and sometimes you want to show somebody, you want to, like, you did me wrong. And that's your springboard, them doing you wrong.
That
So
chip on your shoulder.
you can't be karma.
No.
God didn't give you that power.
And
Your success won't make them feel bad.
and
Stop.
That's a fact.
how long can you prove them wrong? Because
See,
once you run that race to, I beat you. Okay. Now what's your motivation?
Yeah.
And so
You got to find some more pain.
Right. So you'll continue to keep developing a new relationship with pain all over again until you decide that I'm not going to choose this anymore.
You can't jump over your pain. You got to go through it.
You got to go through it.
You got to feel it.
Yeah.
You don't stay there. You go through it.
Mm.
Man, listen, man. This been a hell of a podcast. Tim, I don't even think we got to what? About at 55 minutes, man. But this been, now listen, I think I needed this therapy, you know, and when we do this, we don't project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't project bad energy. I project that I am in the mud going through it. And we all have a mud moment in our life. We're all going through something.
Yeah.
We're all dealing with something.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is. And it's for us to eventually arrive at our destination. And the destination is not a thing or an event or a material thing. The destination is waking up to who you are. Knowing that in everything that you've been through, everything that has happened in your life, it was for a reason. And I don't understand my reason right now. That's the beautiful thing about doing this. That's why I love doing this so much, because I'm walking on a journey with the people that's watching us. I get to be authentic about what I am. Yeah. Find your release. It don't matter what your release. This is my release.
Mm-hmm.
This keeps me from going crazy. I don't know how much more honest I can be.
Facts.
This keeps me from losing my mind. And I'm not losing my mind because somebody else doing me wrong. I'm losing my mind because I can still figure it out. I'm still in a stage of growing up, maturing, understanding who I am.
And you know, Steve, you said something so real. And for the men that's on this panel, I know we all have. But for the men that are watching, therapy is good.
Come on.
It is nothing wrong with therapy. Stop being sold that tale that we don't do this because of a people. No, if you don't do it, you'll remain where you are. That's where the pain is. You got to get therapy to allow it to be massaged out. You'll go and get your muscles massaged out, but you won't allow somebody to massage the pain, the trauma, the tension, the unsettledness out of your mind. It doesn't make sense. We gotta. It's okay to be it's okay to get therapy, and men, it's okay for you to open up and talk to other men.
No question.
It is. That's what's beautiful about this thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because men compress in their cave. Men go in caves, especially black men, because black men has had to produce for necessity for so long. Black men don't get praise unless they produce.
Yeah.
At a high level. Other than that, you're a scrub. No pun intended. You don't meet the bar. And that's not all women. That's not everybody saying that.
Right.
But it's a collective talk.
Absolutely.
It is something that has fallen on the shoulders of a lot of black men. That it's in our forefront. See, assume reality feels real. Even if something is not happening to you exactly, it feels like it's happening to you because you see it happening to brothers around you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just like women see things happening, this man ain't this, and this man ain't that, and this man ain't this. They feel a collective bond, and black men feel the same thing. We just don't talk about it.
Absolutely.
It's just a signal with us.
Right.
We don't say much about it, so we struggle in silence. And you know what? Slowly but surely, we'll find it. That's where I'm at with it. It's not enough nobody needs a lecture. People know what ultimately they need. We got to start giving our people more credit.
Yeah.
People know what they need. People just need you to lead with empathy. People need to know that you don't have a fucking motive all the time.
Right.
You don't always have an agenda. People want to know you're checking on them because you're not asking for something.
Right.
You just checking on them.
Yeah.
Just because you love them.
Well, just make sure you don't have a motive and an agenda then.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the thing.
You know what I mean? Like, just love on people for no reason. Will you slip up? Yes. Will you fall? Yes. I fall. I'm not all the time what I should be. I am a work in progress. I fall on a daily basis, but I'm determined to get up over. I'm gonna tell you one thing, Keegan. I'm gonna get up I'm gonna keep getting up. I don't give a fuck if it takes 80 years. I don't care if my eyes don't see what I imagine. I'm still gonna keep getting up. I'm not here for a material result. I'm here to see people keep trying, keep going, don't stop. This was the Deep Surface Podcast. Man, you guys subscribe on YouTube and Instagram. Man, I had a phenomenal podcast with you guys, man.
Likewise, bro. Likewise.
Man, listen, we out of here. Keep the faith, my guys.